And Asia Wilson, you mentioned, along with Angel McCaughtry, combined for 50 points in that 4-point win when they met earlier this season. And Asia is so good in the pinch. She's really good on the left block. They do a great job of isolating her. And let's see how LA will choose to defend Asia Wilson, if they'll play her straight up or if they'll bring some help.
Sparks with the tip.
Taya Cooper running the point. They go to the horn set. One of the things that Cooper does really well is help Chelsea Gray get off the ball a little bit, be a little bit more of an effective scorer, and not wear her down so that she's fresh in the fourth quarter.
From the corner off the second chance opportunity. Officials this afternoon: Cheryl Flores, Brian Jarrett, and Jeff Smith. And with the roll, the start for the Aces, Kayla McBride on the board. That's a good start for McBride. Bill Laimbeer talked about a little bit earlier today. She gets in a rhythm that kind of helps everything else.
I don't think they script plays. I think they react, but I do think they run something for Kayla every start of the half to get her going.
Candace Parker with the turn inside for the answer.
Both these teams play with a high IQ. They're very good at recognizing mismatches. And right there you see LA playing straight up with Nneka Ogwumike having the assignment on Asia Wilson. And when she can get to that left hand, she is really tough to guard.
Wilson has certainly taken her game to another level. Great seat inside and the answer for Ogwumike.
And as long as Bill Laimbeer is going to leave Carolyn Swords on the floor, LA is going to continue to put her in pick and roll situations. I think that's a good no call right there. Principal verticality.
Letting them play. And quickly at the opposite end, the Sparks answer with Gray on the 15-footer.
Now keep in mind that Vegas is coming off one of their best offensive performances in their 3-year existence in Las Vegas. Kayla McBride made 5 threes. As a team, they made 10. They scored over 100 points. This is a very good Vegas team when they are able to play the kind of defense that they can and turn teams over and get extra possessions. And then they start, if they shoot the 3 like they did in the last game, that is going to be really difficult to deal with in the playoffs.
McBride, who's a 90% shooter on the season. Chelsea Gray picked up that foul on McBride.
And what's so respectable about Las Vegas's win in the last game, scoring over 100 against Minnesota, is that, you know, it's a Cheryl Reeve defense that we know Coach Reeve and her staff and her team play the defensive side of the ball with a lot of pride.
Las Vegas team for the 3rd time this season scoring over 100 points on this defensive-minded. As we take a look at the scoring leaders in the W. McCaughtry trying to find some space inside. Shot is altered.
Really good D by Taya Cooper to stop the ball at the nail, and then really good defense on Angel McCaughtry.
Whistle on the play as Gray's shot is off, but prior to the shot.
That is a perfect example of Nneka Ogwumike. Sprint the screen and be slow to use. She sprinted right into that screen, and she knocked Angel McCaughtry on her butt.
McCaughtry with the foul, her first. And here's Angel at the opposite end, looking to pay.
Angel McCaughtry is having some of the best numbers of her storied career. She has been terrific. Best field goal percentage, best 3-point percentage in her career.
Slips on the floor, and the ball will go back to the Sparks.
Angel is saying she stepped on Chelsea Gray's foot right here.
And she did, yeah, on the back side of her heel. Age 34, 11th season in the league. Still running the motors.
She is really fun to watch. Highly efficient. Very good on the defensive end. Shoots the gap. When I start talking about shooting the gap, it always makes me think of Cheryl Swoops and Tamika Catchings. And I'd put Angel McCautry in that category as well.
An elite company there. Wilson darts to the basket, can't finish. Here comes Cooper in the middle of the floor.
A good decision by Taya Cooper. Didn't have numbers, run your offense.
Okay, rattles it. Excuse me. Gumake with her 5th point and a 1-point lead.
Really good duck in by Asia Wilson. And nobody goes to the free throw line more than Asia, and no other team more than Las Vegas. One of the challenges in guarding them is defending without fouling. You have to keep them off the line. So Angel rejects the screen, draws the help, drops it off on a great duck in. Terrific timing by Asia Wilson to earn a trip to the line.
For the 138th time this season. Nothing
really
but net.
Really improved her free throw shooting as well.
Her teammates can't say enough on how she's become more of a leader on and off the court.
I mean, just think about what she did in her time at South Carolina for Dawn Staley and Lisa Boyer and that staff, and winning a national championship in 2017. She was the cornerstone of really great things for Dawn Staley to build upon.
Gumake with the split and the dish back out to Gray for 3. I thought it was interesting, Phil Lampier was saying, you know, you take Asia Wilson off of our team and we're just mediocre as McCautry finishes. And on the other some of the other prominent teams this season with MVP candidates, you might take their MVP candidate off and they would be just as good as they are. And I thought that was an interesting thought, made you think a little bit more about the process of what an MVP means to a team.
So one of the things I thought in LA's loss to Washington was they became ball stoppers, and some of the wrong people were taking shots. And to start the game, Derek Fisher, who told us before the game how much he trusts his team, and you can see in evidence of the way they're playing right now, that right now Ogumake, Parker, and Gray have taken 5 shots, have made 5 shots of have made all their baskets.
Cooper with the big bucket on the 3.
Until Cooper hits that 3. So they're starting the game with the core 3, taking the shots and making plays.
Nice job underneath. McBride can't finish. And Debbie referring to the loss Thursday night on a Washington team is trying to make a run here, keep things alive. An 80-72 victory over the Sparks, where Aisha Hines Allen rattled off 30 in that game. Nothing but net.
That is where Asia Wilson has really improved her game. And I think this year she's been given more space to operate in, not just on the block, but in the high post area. She demands a double. And this is not a three-point shooting team, so you'd think you'd be able to help off of some players on the perimeter, but she's so quick making her move that it's challenging to try to bring the double. We got a game. 144 plus staff have been so intentional about making sure that everyone understands how you can take your passion to action and vote. September's National Voter Registration Month. If you haven't filled out the census, you need to do that as well. But be registered to vote. And you can check with your local election office to find out about mail-ins and voting locations. It's important.
Oh, got a wedgie.
I think we have a foul.
And a foul.
Catching it in the pinch, forcing her to go right. That used to be the way that teams would guard Asia, and that's what you have to do. You want to take away her dominant hand if you can, but she has gotten so much better And in the quarantine time, while she was in Vegas, she worked on her pivots. Her reverse pivot is the best in the WNBA. And she's worked on her face-up game, and she keeps adding tools. You know, I'm thinking that pretty soon we're going to see her get it off the glass and not need the outlet pass, but to take it herself. I think that's where her next, besides shooting the three.
Olsen already with 10, first player in double figures on the afternoon, and Vegas perfect from the line right now as they lead it by 3 with the ball.
And this is what they're best at, Leah, turning teams over and scoring off their defense. Great ball pressure by Hamby to force the turnover, and D-Rob with the finish.
Robinson off the bench, first player off the bench in the scoring column for Bill Laimbeer's squad.
Candace Parker, that's the smart two-man game. They know that Vegas is going to switch. So you make the pass to get the switch, and then you pass it back to the top, and you duck in to get that post-up advantage. It's smart. That's how you play. You know what? I'm sorry, Leah, but that's the next level. I mean, that's the high IQ that these players play with, and understanding scatter report, watching a lot of film, and their coaches going through that with them. Recognizing the switch and being able to force a switch that you can take advantage of.
McBride trying to find some space and works right into it. Double team, gets it loose and can't control the ball.
Really great energy by LA to start the game. Now watch, Candace Parker knows there's a switch, so she throws it back up top so she can post up a smaller defender in Kayla McBride. And Chelsea Gray knew exactly what she was doing. That's the kind of chemistry you get with core players that played together at a high level for a long time.
6 assists for the Sparks on 7 made hoops. Gray can't get it to fall.
Oh, good D again. A couple of turnovers in a row here. Las Vegas is a team that doesn't turn the ball over very much.
Third of the game, Sparks can't make it hurt. Swords with the board.
There was a lot of contact.
Well, like you said, right off the top, they're letting them play a little bit.
I think you said that off the top. I said the principle of verticality on that play.
That's true. That's true. Robinson trying to find some space. Shot clock winding down in traffic. They may have gotten bailed out.
Danielle Robinson, D-Rob, attacking the big, trying to make a play, and it almost was travel there, but it could have been travel instead of the foul.
Igwe comes into the game and picks up the foul immediately in her first minute. Non-shooting foul, so 14 back on the shot clock for the Aces.
Oh, another steal.
Huh?
I think that's 3 in a row.
Yep. Parker trying to work on Swords. Whistle on the floor. Carolyn Swords picks up the foul.
I mean, what a different level of energy we're seeing out of LA to start this game than the other night against Washington. And it's a different style, right? Mike Thibault's team, you have to run off the three-point line. Vegas, you got to protect inside out, but you've got to be able to get to the free throw line against them as well and put some pressure on their defense.
Chelsea Gray looking for the foul, did not get the call. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter of play between the Aces and the Sparks. These two teams, along with Seattle, trying to fight for those first 2 spots in the standings for that double bye. Erica Hamby with the foul.
Hamby on the roll to the bucket, took out one of the LA players. See Derek Fisher calling out a set that he sees right away. He knows they're going to get a switch. As long as Carolyn Swords in the game, here comes that pick and roll.
Cooper Mason Silver short, can't get it to fall.
Notice this too, Leah. You won't see LA go to the glass very often. They'd rather get back and load up their defense than try to send a bunch of people to the offensive boards. Not a bad foul for Inigwe. It's just because they're not in the bonus. Oh, I'm sorry. That is the foul to put them in the bonus. So not a good foul. Not a good foul. Let me correct that. We should note, you know, we've said this before, the stat monitor is very good, and the stat people are doing an excellent job, but there's certain things that are missing here, and like knowing team fouls is not on our stat sheet, or timeouts is not on the stat monitor.
Parker, little shake and bake, trying to find some space in the fall away, can't get it to go. The Aces will let it roll out here after 1 quarter of play. Playoff implications here in Bradenton, Florida on a sunny day, the final weekend of the
Chance of winning something.
There you go, a little hardware there for Asia. The suspense, Asia Wilson, 20-plus scoring games this season. She's led the team in scoring 12 times, and as Debbie has said, she has just taken her game to another level. McCautry with the putback to start the second.
Nice flare screen, wide open. Bebe Raquana Williams went 1 for 11 in the last game, but if she's a streaky shooter, and when she gets hot, they can run a package for her that allows her to shake free.
Did struggle, as Debbie said. Prior to that, she had 3 consecutive games in double figures, just couldn't find the rhythm from the floor. Hamby's shot is off. Sparks looking to push it out in front, and Brittany Sykes
looks faster when she wears her hair like that. She just flies down the floor, and she's already fast.
You would talk about hold her back a little bit there.
You talk about an enjoyable player to watch develop and grow over her career, from Syracuse, playing for Quentin Hillsman, taking a team to a national championship game, to being a highly successful player that has added to her professional skill set every year.
Got 14 games in double figures this year. Averaging 10 points per game coming in. And a couple of huge blocks this year, too, against some bigs.
She's got the assignment on Angel. Hamby from the top of the key.
Hamby's talked about how just having Asia Wilson as a teammate, it's a great compliment. Can't say enough.
And what's great for Bill Laimbeer is he's able to extend this lead with Asia on the bench.
Sykes can't get to fall.
Las Vegas is on track to have the best scoring bench in the history of the WNBA. Nobody else has 2 players that average in double figures like Bill Laimbeer. He's got Dearica Hamby, who's a candidate again for 6th player of the year, and she's going to get my vote for that. And Jackie Young is the other player that averages in double figures, the #1 pick in the draft last year.
Williams looking to go coast to coast. One team left to take that final playoff spot. Dallas wins. They would win out due to the head-to-head. Washington has made a great run. Mike Tebow's squad here really moving and shaking that last week.
You know, entertaining, well-prepared, highly competitive Washington made a great run at the end. And depending on what happens in the Dallas and New York game, we know who Washington will be rooting for tomorrow, and that'll be New York, a team they beat today. And Maisha Hines-Allen is a candidate for most improved player. Forget about it. I think I'm putting her on my second team. I think she's been that good. Forget about being most improved. She deserves to be in consideration for second team all WNBA.
Absolutely has taken over for the Mystics, really been a leader down the stretch. They defeated the Liberty today 75-58. Start the action off this afternoon. Here comes Parker.
Look at that handle at 6'4". Parker looks like she might have got hurt on that. She's holding that right side of her leg. See if she's okay when she comes back in the screen.
A whistle and a charge.
They're going to call that foul on Wilson. Now take a look at Parker up the court. Behind the back on Angel. And then it looks like right there she drags that right side. She seems to be okay.
Good ball movement by the Sparks. Sykes kicks it back out. Nothing but nets.
Not only did Sykes kick it, get a piece of the paint and kick it to Raquanda, as soon as she passed it, she was heading down the other end. Now, if you're a player that catches a ball wide open from the three-point line and you see your teammate already get back on D, that gives you confidence. That like, this bucket's going in. We don't need a rebound. Oh, man, that is a tough two.
Right.
Wow.
Paint. Asia Wilson for 2. 5-point lead. Okay, knocked away by McCautry. Here come the Aces with a 5-point lead. Little up and under by Robinson. Can't get it. McCautry follows up her own shot here.
The best rebounding team in the WNBA is Las Vegas. They are
+7 right now, Deb.
Yeah, well, they're +5 on the season. That's the best rebound margin. They're also +2 on the turnover margin, so they don't give you a lot of extra possessions. You got to earn it against Las Vegas.
Asia Wilson trying to make it.
I'm just saying. He's a big fan of the WNBA putting a franchise there.
And the victory that night against Minnesota, they swept them for the season, put up 104 points. I'm sure the Horns were happy. Swords inside, her first 2 of the game, right out of the timeout.
And that's the reliability of Carolyn Swords. It's not going to be anything that's flashy, but it's going to be solid. And she's a veteran that wasn't even going to play this year. Bill Lambier drafted her out of the front office to come back out of retirement. You're not going to find a nicer person either.
Robinson calling out the play now from up top. Camby looks to Swords. Nice job working inside, and a foul called. Carolyn Swords will go to the free throw line.
And they go to their horn set, and it looks like a Gumake got caught up with Sykes trying to defend that dribble handoff action in the horns, and then that causes rotation, and then everyone's out of position, and then Candace Parker late on making that defensive play.
Taya Cooper checking in for the Sparks.
Taya Cooper back in the lineup for LA.
Carolyn Swords, one of the all-time greats from Boston College. An incredibly successful person on and off the court, and certainly a starter on Las Vegas. I mean, has done a fantastic job playing her role.
Definitely in the moment is the Sparks 6 or 12, and struggling a little bit here. We've only made 4.
So remember when I said at the beginning that the first 5 baskets of the game were from the core 3 for LA, and they were tied. And now they've gotten away from Parker Ogumake and Chelsea Gray looking for shots. But that's where the trust factor comes in. You gotta trust your teammates to make open shots.
Parker. Comes Ogumake, tried to float it, and unfortunately Parker cannot get a handle of it.
Nneka Ogumake stays in the middle all the time. Never too high or too low. always takes accountability and responsibility, even if it wasn't her fault, whether it was or not. She's the kind of teammate that everybody would like to have. As McBride hits her first triple, and she hit 5 in the last game.
She must have heard Bill Lambert's pre-game Zoom about getting consistent early and getting into that rhythm and flow early for this Las Vegas team. Nice gather in and bounce for Candace Parker. She now has 7.
There's that high-low game. Great feed by Nneka inside to Candace Parker.
Good save in the corner, and it's McBride once again.
That's a broken play, and on a broken play, McBride is playing with a lot of confidence at the right time for Las Vegas.
Okay, waiting patiently to go over the top of Swords.
High-low this time reversed. Parker on the top, passing it inside to Nneka Ogwumike. Look at Taya Cooper move her feet. What an incredible defensive job by the rookie Taya Cooper on the veteran Angel McCautry. This is the versatility of Candace Parker. It's why she's in the MVP conversation at 6'4". She's got range to the three-point line. She scores on all 3 levels. She initiates the break by rebounding. She's the best rebounder. She's a very good defender. She's in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. And she's hungry for a championship in her 13th year. She's playing some of her best basketball. She's shooting the ball as well as she's ever shot it, going all the way back to her rookie year. She's shooting the 3 as well as she did from her rookie season. And she's shooting it from the floor as well as she has since 2011. So she's 51% from the floor, and she's 42% from the three-point line. Plus, she can see over the top of most defenses, and she understands with a very high level of intelligence how to play the game.
So she will have a seat at the table tomorrow for the Antonelli Awards in anticipation.
Candace Parker, yeah, she might have a chance to win in one of the awards.
Do you have a special makeup on these awards, Debbie?
Yeah, I've got, I mean, the awards, the categories tomorrow at noon on CBS during the Dallas-New York game. That's when we're going to announce them. And it's the non-traditional award. So it's like best screener, best cutter, who's the fastest with the ball, who's a ticket-selling player, who's the best in the pinch, who's the best point forward, etc. As you see, Candace Parker, who could answer, who could be the winner to a lot of those awards that I mentioned. Pretty exciting way to highlight some of the other players and some of the detail on the offensive side of the ball.
So don't forget, tomorrow afternoon it will be a triple header of action, the final day of the regular season for the WNBA. Dallas and New York will start it off at noontime tomorrow. Dallas needs a win to get in that final and 8th playoff spot.
Well, Arike only had 38 yesterday.
And what a shame, right?
Only. I mean, she's due for a 40.
Nneka Ogwumike.
If she's listening, Arike, 40. I can see it tomorrow. I'm predicting it right now.
Okay, look at the schedule tomorrow. Aces in the Storm. Again, that playoff implication for the 1-2, the double bye. And then, of course, the Mystics and the Dream in Washington. Really hoping that Dallas has some issues to go down that final day of the season. Mike Thibault's squad, they will take on Kennedy Carter in Atlanta.
That is 8 turnovers in the first half for Las Vegas. LA is going to get a chance for one more possession here if they can get a stop. This could be a 4 or 5 point swing if they can get a stop right here.
McBride from the outside drains it. Kayla McBride now with 11. But check, that was inside. A 2-pointer, 10 points now. Agumake at the buzzer responds at the opposite end of the floor to get this one into single digits.
Pass-through screen or a slip, you can call it either one, and Agumake just too quick for Carolyn Swords to stay with. No help to the year on the WNBA.
Absolutely. He and Derek Fisher today, and actually if you look at the number of the players down the floor as McCautry comes off with that bucket to start the third quarter of play, back to a 10-point lead.
Well, LA had great energy to start the game. Let's see how they start the second half.
Better ball movement. Agumake rattles it in.
And the other thing too, Leah, is the core three. Parker, Agumake, and Chelsea Gray were taking shots early in the game. This is where A'ja Wilson's so dangerous in the pinch.
Wilson crossing it. And the answer from the opposite end of the floor. The Aces quickly trying to respond.
Lindsay Allen doesn't take a lot of shots. That's only her 6th made three of the game, of the season. After I just finished saying you don't have to run them off the three-point line.
LA's first 3 points of the game. Allen inside, and a nice job and a finish there. Touch off the glass by Wilson.
That's just a great read. If you watch what Lindsay Allen does there, the way she draws 2 defenders and gives A'ja time to slip. Good D by Carolyn Swords cutting off the baseline.
Sykes tries to bounce it inside.
Watch Lindsay Allen come off the dribble handoff. Good find by McBride. Allen on the weak side gets in the slot, which is hard to defend, and then she draws 2, and then A'ja Wilson does such a good job of keeping Nneka Agumake on her hip so she can roll cleanly to the basket.
Patry can't get it to fall in traffic. Battled and tied up. As McBride unable to spin out of it.
Angel in traffic, and it looks like LA standing flat-footed, and McBride gets the rebound.
So Chelsea Gray and McBride for the jump. Flip up to McCautry. How about that?
Good D. Not the kind of start Derek Fisher had hoped for, forcing an early timeout.
Out of the timeout, Simone Augustus back into the lineup, scoring her first 2 points of the game.
Nneka Agumake, great ball pressure, comes up with a defensive play to draw a foul on Angel. Angel trying to get the ball inside to A'ja Wilson on a post-up on a switch. And see, that's the kind of defense that LA is going to have, though. You get that switch, you have great ball pressure, then you make it much more difficult to make that entry into the mismatch on the block.
Agumake in traffic, a little hard off the glass. '25th board. In an area where last time these two teams met, Vegas also dominated the boards 42-33 in that first meeting, and an 86-82 victory over the Sparks.
Beautiful. Sweet. That's where Parker's most dangerous. Rebounding on the defensive end and then motoring through the middle of the floor. And if anybody was going to find their stroke at the right time, it was Kayla McBride. At one point, she was 10 for 40 from the three-point line this season. In the last 2 games, she made 5 in the last game. She's got 1 in this game because the first half they took 1 away from her.
Great give and go action. making it hurt on the turnover once again.
You see the bench for LA stand up, trying to provide some energy.
Cooper with some room in the lane.
Tip and deflection, steal, 2 points. It's 2-on-1. The first drill you do the first day of training camp.
Largest lead of the game for the Aces as McCautry pulls up.
Look at Angel again getting a deflection.
Candace Parker trying to take over, going up against Swords. She'll go to the line.
From the Aces, number 4, Carolyn Swords. For 7-2-7.
See, Vegas is calling for the principal verticality here. Let's watch. Parker sees a lane. Bill Lambier might be right about that one.
Shooting 2.
This is only the third time this game that LA has gotten to the free throw line. And all opportunities from Candace Parker.
That looks pretty straight up to me. I mean, Carolyn Swords has 2 blocks on the whole season, so she's not trying to block a shot. She's trying to protect the rim, but not block a shot. That's Asia Wilson's job. Only once in a while. I don't think Bill Lambier actually likes her trying to block shots because he doesn't want her to get in foul trouble.
Carolyn Swords closing in on some season high number in minutes here. Season high 23 minutes. She's at 21 right now.
And I think
as you mentioned, for a young lady who was in the front office in PR before this all even started, and the thought process to even come to the Wubble.
Well, everybody has to know their role, and a lot of times we talk about players that are specialists that come off the bench. Well, Swords is in the starting lineup, and she has a role that she plays. That's it right there. Green and roll. Defend the rim. Keep people in front. That's part of the reason why Vegas is such a good rebounding team. They keep the offense in front of them. They switch on screen and roll. They don't let anybody turn a corner on them. They keep you out of the paint. Watch Carolyn Swords. Screen and then roll. Great pass by Lindsay Allen, too. Draws 2, drops it off.
Been putting in some high energy positions this afternoon, high efficiency, and sneaking by is Agumake there for the bucket. Getting back to Swords, she had struggled in her last 6, making only 4 of 13. She has gotten those high percentage shots, 2 for 2 on the afternoon, 5 points, 4 boards for Vegas in 22 minutes of action. Good putback by Asia Wilson for 16 now.
I kind of feel like right now it's Chelsea Gray time. If LA is going to make a run, Chelsea Gray with the ball is going to have to do something. She's been very quiet in this game.
Parker rattled it.
Gray with only 2 points, 1 for 6 from the floor for LA.
Simone Augustus, one of the all-time leaders, and just went over 6,000 points in her career, becomes the 10th player in the 24-year history of the W to hit that mark.
They call her Money Moan for a good reason. One of the best in the history of the game in the mid-range. One of those off-season moves, spending her entire first 14 years in Phoenix. This is her 15th year. She's already won 4 championships. She knows what championship caliber basketball looks like.
7-time All-Star. And 3 gold medals to go with it too.
Williams entering for the Sparks. In for the Aces, number 3, Danielle Robinson. And number 0, Jackie Young.
I got a great piece of trivia for you, Leah, about Simone. It's one of my favorite trivia questions. She won two Wade trophies. I was getting ready to call it Heisman because today's college football. I was just on my mind. You know how many threes she made in college in 4 years? She only made 33. So 99 points of her 2,700 that she scored at LSU were threes.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
She won 2 Wade trophies, really, without shooting the 3. That's how good her mid-range and her ability to score was. One of the nicest people you're going to meet also.
Played 12 games in 2019, and as Debbie said, the opportunity to come over and be a part of this Sparks squad this season. Really understood her role too.
You know, when you talk about not having the 3 ball in college and being such a highly decorated player, #1 pick in the draft, coming out of high school or out of college, #1 player in coming out of high school. She's been #1 in a lot of things.
Rookie of the Year in the W back in 2006, trying to help her team get back into this game. Lead down to 12. Parker finishes on the play. Wilson trying to find some separation, can't do it. Canby tried to have it stay alive, is stripped on the play. Up ahead to Gumake, who will bring it back out. Augustus from behind the line.
Just a real critical time here again for LA. They got to get a couple of stops in a row and get a couple of scores to put some pressure on Las Vegas. There's 1. Can you get 3 in a row? And then you're right back in it. 3 stops, 3 scores. There's the switch and the mismatch.
Here's Chelsea Gray, it's short. Las Vegas is led by as many as 15. Sparks' biggest lead in this one was 2. As we are under 2 minutes to go here in the third. Las Vegas and the Sparks and Seattle all trying to fight it out for the top 2 spots. And that double bye in next week's opening rounds of the 2020 version of the WNBA playoffs. We're still on the full part of the shot. Jackie Young picking up the foul.
LA will just be patient on those switches, especially when they go big little screening action. They will be open in the paint. And I think Coach Fisher's done a great job calling out for some of those isolations and calling out some of those switches that he knows are going to happen by design.
Take a look at the playoff schedule. The first round games start on Tuesday. Remember, 5 through 8. It's that ever so important 1-game playoff. Second round starts on Thursday. Doubleheader action at 7 and 9 over on ESPN2.
We know one matchup, Connecticut and Chicago. That's the only one we know.
That's the only one we know.
And that's what's so exciting and been so great about the W. It's been so much fun in the bubble, and you know, the players have been unbelievable considering there's only 144 spots. These are the best players, best athletes in the world. And it's not about you have to do, it's you get to do. That's been their attitude. We get to do this. We get to play. We get to talk about our social justice platforms. We get to compete in the bubble, playing our sport that we love. And we're pros. We get paid for it.
Shot clock down, backside block by Gumake, and the success certainly of the way that the WNBA has been able to handle it. Kathy Ilbert, commissioner, and her leadership team, I think has really set the tempo for sports across America now of how this can be done at all levels.
Well, no one was calling games from home except for some baseball from Korea. And then the WNBA created this, and we got to do the games first, and then the NBA bubble came about. And so, I mean, I know how grateful I am for the opportunity to be able to work with our team on these games. Coaches have been fantastic. The players have been great. All the Zoom calls, the way the communication has been worked out. The WNBA deserves a big shout out for that. I think it's a model moving forward for college women's basketball.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sue Blau, I'm going to give a shout out to her. She's at every game sitting courtside, making sure we're in compliance with the rules and we deliver the information accurately to the fans, because we certainly want to do that.
Our crew too.
And LA's making a move right here. 8-point game. Can they get another stop?
Misfortune there, and the Sparks picking up on it. It'll be a jump ball. There's Sue Blau. And again, extremely helpful to all of us every single night.
Sue Blau, when I see you in an airport or in a court somewhere or post game, first one's on me. The rest are on you.
I was able to see her for about 30 seconds a couple of weeks ago. I'm very appreciative of all their help. They're trying to.
Veteran official in our game for a long time. I don't know how many years she repped in the WNBA, but she repped many years, decades in the league, and certainly multiple decades in college women's hoops as well. Good people, those officials, Leah.
Absolutely good people. Really good people. They've been in the wobble too, and I think people forget about that as Brittany Sykes finishes the play off of the tap.
It's a two-possession game.
Their move. Yep, two-possession. Sparks making their move. Closed out this third.
Well, after going 1 for 11 in the last game, Raquana is starting to heat up a little bit. She's got a couple of baskets here.
Stripped away. Connor Williams on fire here to try to lead her team.
Well, they needed to get a couple of stops in a row, trailing by double digits, and they've done that. 3 in a row. Raquana, Bebe, Williams doing something on the defensive end and getting her a trip to the free throw line. Las Vegas usually does a really good job of not getting teams in the bonus early. And Derek Fisher's team has really picked it up right here. They were at a crucial time about midway through this quarter.
Told us a little bit earlier today, he said we've just got to do a better job defensively without fouling, and his team has done so here in the third quarter with under 30 seconds to go. Now trying to turn the quarter, end up meeting up with Parker on the play. Young gets it off the glass.
Great take. Plenty of time here for LA to get the right shot from the right person.
Sword bites. Parker moves herself in position.
That's the right person.
17.
That is the right person, Leah. 4-point game.
Here in Bradenton, Florida, along the river. Come on back for the final quarter. After these, stay with us.
Doing what you do. Everyone leave it all on the court. Let's go, Sparks.
Tanae Agumake, the younger sister, and a former #1 pick. And Tanae, we're proud of you also for what you're doing at ESPN with your new national radio show with Mike Golick Jr. Congratulations on that. And I know the Sparks will be glad to have you back next year, because not just Tanae, but Christy Tolliver also not playing this year. And actually, Christy Tolliver not playing gave Taya Cooper an opportunity for Derek Fisher's team.
Derek Fisher's team with some work to be done here in the fourth, final game of the regular season for LA. Las Vegas has one more left tomorrow with Seattle.
Well, they like to run horns when Jackie Young is on the top of the floor, and with Hamby and Asia Wilson on the floor, that's a great set for Bill Laimbeer. And you see Jackie Young puts the ball on the floor and dribbles with a purpose to improve her angle to score.
4:20 of the game for Young. Patry Englishes it in. And that forces Derek Fisher to call timeout.
Los Angeles 60, Las Vegas 69.
3 players in double figures for
Washington will be in.
Right now, Washington with the upper hand. They have 8 victories thanks to their win this afternoon against Liberty, 75-58. Atlanta and Dallas are on the outside.
Yeah, there we go.
Dallas
So,
with those 7 wins.
Washington. Yeah, let's just make sure we have it clear.
Dallas and New York play at noontime tomorrow.
And Washington and Atlanta play. So if Washington wins, they'll have 9.
We'll be able to.
We got some information. I was just reading what I had been given, and obviously that wasn't right. I apologize for not taking the time to double check it.
5-point lead for the Aces. 8 minutes to go in the game. McCautry at the buzzer is off. And there's a shot clock violation. See a look at tomorrow's final day of the regular season. The Wings and the Liberty started off at noon, followed by Las Vegas and the Storm at 3 p.m. on national television, and then Washington, Atlanta will wrap up the regular season at 5 p.m. Hard to believe. 22 games for each team in the books by tomorrow afternoon. Patry with a nose to the bucket, counted and one.
What an incredible take off the bounce.
The basket counts. Foul 30, Nega Agumake, her third.
Angel fighting for the loose basketball, keeps control of it, gets right into the chest of Nneka Agumake to draw the foul.
88% shooter on the season, and her first trip to the line this afternoon, where the Aces are shooting 76% right now. 72-64 lead.
Maybe call Hamby for a box out foul. Bill Laimbeer knows about those rebounding fouls.
A couple of box outs there. So Gray will inbound it.
Sykes called for the push off.
That's Sykes' second. 7:17 to go in this one.
Well, this is where LA's got to really tighten up right here. Show some mental toughness, get some stops, and Vegas needs to keep moving the ball.
Bride trying to cross up Sykes. Picks up her dribble, needs some help. Seam to the hoop by Wilson. She completes the play, her 19.
What a great job by McBride, handling under duress, and Asia Wilson giving her an outlet with a terrific back cut. She takes Candace Parker up to the elbow, and then she back cuts. Everyone else is lifted. There's no help. Watch Asia Wilson moving without the ball. She's going to cut, and then she's going to back cut right here, and there's no help, nobody at the rim, everyone lifted. Broken play ends up being a big play, aided by Kayla McBride.
And while we're away, Raquana Williams picks up the foul. That's her second. McBride.
LA can't have very many empty possessions now because they're not able to stop Las Vegas from scoring.
Foul underneath, off of the shot. As Sykes and Robinson trying to jockey for position there. Robinson picking up the foul.
You see that little subtle thing that Neko Ogwumike just did? She sprinted to help her teammate up and help D-Rob up at the same time. Those are little things that if you're a young player out there and you're watching, play hard, knock them to the ground, but you can always pick them up.
Right. Be a good teammate, be a good sport. Goes a long way. Robinson with the ball as we get to 6 minutes to go in this 10-point game.
Overpass that time. Bebe had a wide open look. Now watch this previous play. That's just a small thing. It's a little detail, but watch Neko Ogwumike turn around and sprint over there to help up her teammate and to help D-Rob. Asia Wilson as well. Those little things matter.
Pace is slowed down just a little bit here. That methodical edge that the Aces like to run, can't get the roll. Ogwumike with the offensive board.
You got to put shots down right now if you're LA. Like I said, can't have empty possessions. They're going to get a foul on Jackie Young for holding Neko Ogwumike on a roll to the basket. That two-man game is pretty dangerous with Parker and Gray, or Parker and Ogwumike. Any of that combination is really tough to guard.
Jackie Young's third. Parker controls it in. Faced with a double team and a nice job rolling right into Jackie Young.
Really good help by Jackie Young to tie it up. That's just having a great court sense and an awareness. You're guarding your player, but you got to have a half a presence and half attention on Parker.
Young and Parker to jump it up. Parker with the height advantage.
What a quick, smart play. Sykes knew she didn't have much time, and Parker knew to tap it to Sykes because she could get off a quick jumper.
74-66, 4:50 to go in the game. And McBride forcing the action. That'll put her to the free throw line.
Neko Ogwumike trying to help on that. This is a good two-man game for Vegas. Look at everybody else is on the weak side. The help is way past the midline. And if she doesn't commit that foul, that's going to be 2 points for McBride. So you're going to make her earn it at the free throw line. And McBride's an excellent free throw shooter who misses the first one.
Came into the game shooting 90% on the season. 2 for 3 today. As a team, Las Vegas 10 for 14 right now. And Derek Fisher had told us before the game, We've got to keep them off the line below 20 attempts. Little fake by Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray has not been able to get her fluid motion on the offensive side. Been solid with her rebounding. 11 boards this afternoon, struggling 1 for 9 right now from the floor.
She actually has 11 assists to go with her 1 for 9 shooting.
Candace Gray, excuse me, Chelsea Gray with 105 assists on the year, a little over 10-5 that she has contributed, assists for equality.
She gives 50 for every assist. LA matches her with 50. That's $100 per assist. And that's an example of not only using your platform to create awareness, but taking your platform to action and contributing yourself, a personal investment in trying to make a difference out of your own pocketbook. There's a lot of players in the WNBA that are doing that are financially supporting their own causes.
Amby picking up the foul. Candace Parker tried to turn back inside. That's her 4th.
I think probably, and I should have the stat in front of me and I don't, but A'ja Wilson probably draws the most fouls on opponents because she goes to the free throw line the most. It would seem obvious that would be it, but I gotta believe Candace Parker's got to be pretty close. It doesn't always result in free throws, so it's a different metric to measure it. Another nice backdoor, but not a finish. LA's got a chance right here. Oh, what a risky pass.
Cooper from the corner, short.
Those are the kind of passes that give coaches gray hair.
Jared Fisher probably had a few back in his day. Nice feed.
Another opportunity. Here comes LA. They got to score. They can't keep having empty possessions right here.
Great hustle there by McBride. Gray keeps it alive, can't get it to fall. Under 3 minutes to go in the game. Young is tied up. They call a foul on the play. It will be on Brittany Sykes. Her 3rd. And we will step aside as well. Las Vegas, LA Sparks squad leading at 2:42 to go in the game, 77-68.
Well, after those 10 first quarter points from A'ja Wilson, she has 9 the rest of the game. Bill Laimbeer hasn't only played her 25 minutes. He played Carolyn Swords, as you indicated before, 21 minutes, and that was to save A'ja for the 4th quarter for game-winning plays. On the other side, you see that LA has been to the free throw line a lot more here in the second half than they did in the first half, and that has helped them, but they can't have empty possessions. They've got to be able to get some stops, and they've got to be aggressive at attacking and trying to put Vegas at a deficit defensively. And on the other side, Bill Laimbeer has his offense in that's more cutting than it is screening, and that's why they've been able to get some backdoor looks, because LA has really picked up their level. And when you see a team and you know they're going to pick up their defensive level, it's a terrific time to go backdoor.
Hamby with the turnover, giving the Sparks the opportunity here. As Debbie mentioned, they've got to come away with something, nothing empty-handed on this possession. Gumake. NECA now with 24. Lead all scorers on the night.
Isolation. Two MVPs going at it. MVP candidates. Of course, Parker, a former MVP. They bring two to Parker and turn her into a passer. That's a big offensive rebound.
Big area of the boards with Cooper can't finish that have neglected the Sparks this afternoon. Rebounding advantage 35 to 28 for Vegas. A 7-point lead, closing in on 1:30 to go in this game. McBride opens herself up. Big bucket by Kayla McBride.
That is huge. What a big basket for Kayla and for Vegas to make it 10 points.
17 for McBride, and comes away with a steal.
But you can tell by Parker's body language, she can sense it as well.
One minute to go in the game.
Good hustle by Chelsea Gray. There'll be 4 on the shot clock. Go back to this basket right here. Was this the one that does it right here? Neko Gumake hands down. Kayla McBride sees a big basket.
54.5 seconds on the game clock. And 5 seconds on the
Coming
shot
into
clock.
the last 2 games, Kayla had only made 16 threes all season. She made 5 in the last game. She's got 2 in this game. If you're going to talk about one of the best pure shooters in the WNBA figuring it out at the right time, this is the right time.
Playoffs start Tuesday night. And Vegas hoping that they get that double bye. They will take on Seattle tomorrow to finish the season. This is the final regular season game for Candace Parker and the LA Sparks. And a 12-point lead. Vegas led by as many as 15.
Vegas never relinquished the lead. They did a great job of making the lead 18 points, and it was a 64-60 Vegas lead to start the 4th quarter. And Bill Lambier's team came out and got a couple of quick buckets, forcing a LA timeout, and then LA really didn't get any closer.
Swords will come in, and Asia Wilson will finish the game with 19 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, couple of blocks, couple of steals. Candace Parker also done for the afternoon, 19-10. And for Parker, her 9th double-double of the season.
Well, LA's got a little bit of regrouping to do, but Derek Fisher has a lot of confidence in the habits that they've built through the course of the season, and let's see how they'll handle the playoffs after a couple of days off. I think they'll be fine. Las Vegas with a 14-point win, and Kayla McBride with that 3